The Navy Physical Fitness Assessment consists of a medical screening, body composition assessment or BCA, and a physical readiness test. This video demonstrates official procedures for conducting the BCA. It is the Command Fitness Leaders or CFL's responsibility to measure the body composition of all sailors within the command while upholding the integrity of the program. Any attempts to influence the BCA measurements through intimidation or other means by command members may result in a disciplinary action under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Every member is required to have only one BCA measurement per Navy Physical Readiness Test or PRT cycle. Also, remember that passing the BCA only clears the member to participate in the PRT. The official BCA is final and will not be reversed by a subsequent BCA waiver. Members must address any potential medical issues prior to the official BCA. Per OBNAV Instruction 6110.1 Juliet, only certified CFLs or assistant CFLs are authorized to conduct official BCA measurements. There are only 3 approved methods to determine a member's BCA: maximum weight for height, abdominal circumference, and body circumference measurements. The official maximum weight for height screening table is available in OPNAV Instruction 6110.1 Juliet. Members are authorized to conduct the weight for height assessment in the uniform of the day or the Navy Physical Training Uniform or PTU. Shoes will not be worn. A minimum of 2 CFLs or assistant CFLs are required to be present for conducting official BCA. No single person behind closed doors or private BCA measurements are authorized. Height is measured first, standing on a flat surface facing forward with line of vision horizontal and the chin parallel to the deck. The body should be straight but not rigid. The CFL will record the member's actual height on the score sheet. When looking at Table 1, OPNAV 4, round up to the nearest inch. The result will be used to determine the member's maximum allowable weight based on the official maximum weight for height screening table. The weight measurement is then taken on a calibrated balanced beam or digital scale. The measurement will be recorded to the nearest pound. If the weight fraction is less than a half pound, round down to the nearest pound. If the weight fraction is a half pound or greater, round up to the nearest pound. No deduction for clothing is permitted. Refer to the center column of the maximum weight for height screen tables. Locate the member's height with fractions rounded up to the nearest whole inch. The official determination is made by entering measurement data into the Physical Readiness Information Management System, or PRIMS. If the member's weight is less than or equal to the maximum weight listed for their gender, they are considered within BCA standards and a % body fat determination is not required. If the member exceeds the weight for height screen, the abdominal circumference technique is required. The abdominal circumference measurement assessment will be executed as follows. The sailor will stand on a flat surface with feet no more than shoulder width apart. The sailor should be looking directly forward with the chin parallel to the floor. The CFL will start the measurement on the right side of the sailor. The CFL will locate the measurement landmark immediately above the right uppermost hip bone, superior border of the iliac crest, at the side of the body vertically in line with the right armpit. If desired, the sailor may assist the CFL in locating the measurement landmark by resting the right hand on the hip, using rearward facing right thumb to locate the iliac crest. The CFL will determine final horizontal vertical intersection point for the landmark circumference. The sailor may use one hand to initially assist the CFL in anchoring the tape measure to the body, but must remove the hand from the tape measure before the official measurement is recorded. Measurement will be taken on bare skin. The free hand may be used to hold the shirt out of the way, but no part of the hands or arms may exceed above the shoulders. The sailor will remain stationary while the CFL conducts the measurement by initially moving around the sailor to place the tape in a horizontal plane around the abdomen. The CFL will ensure the tape is parallel to the floor at the level of the landmark, is snug, but does not compress the bare skin. Upon exhale, the CFL will take the measurement at the end of the sailor's normal respiration. The CFL will take the circumference measurement 2 times and record rounding down to the nearest half inch. If one of the 2 measurements differs by more than 1 inch, the CFL will take an additional measurement and compute a mathematical average of the two closest measurements to the nearest half inch and record this value as the AC measurement. A sailor will pass the BCA if abdominal circumference is less than or equal to 39 inches for males and less than or equal to 35.5 inches for females. If the sailor is within abdominal circumference standards, he or she will pass the BCA. If the member exceeds the weight for height screen and the abdominal circumference measurements, a slightly different procedure will be used for the body circumference measurement. BC measurement must also be conducted in the Navy PTU. When performing the circumference measurement, round the member's height to the nearest half inch. If the member's height is 67.25 inches, 67.5 inches will be used for the circumference measurement. All measurements are taken on the right side of the body with the tape parallel to the deck. When measuring circumferences, apply the tape measures so it makes contact with the skin, conforms to the body's surface being measured, and it does not compress the underlying soft tissues. Circumference measurements are taken 2 times sequentially and recorded to the nearest half inch. If one of the two measurements differ by more than 1 inch, the CFO will take an additional measurement and compute the mathematical average of the two closest measurements to the nearest half inch and record this value. BCA circumference measurements for men are to be taken at the neck and abdomen. Neck measurements shall be taken on bare skin at the point just below the larynx or Adam's apple and perpendicular to the long axis of the neck. Do not place the tape measure over the larynx. The member will look straight ahead during the measurements, with shoulders down and relaxed, not hunched. The tape will be as close to horizontal as anatomically feasible. The tape line in the front of the neck should be at the same height as the tape line in the back of the neck. Care should be taken as so not to involve the shoulder neck muscles in the measurement. Round the neck measurement up to the nearest half inch and record. For example, round 16.25 inches to 16.5 inches. Abdomen measurements are taken on bare skin, across the belly button, with the member's arms down on the side. If redness and lines in the skin are observed, turn the member away for 72 hours. Take measurements at the end of the member's normal relaxed exhalation. Discourage the member from holding their breath and taking the measurements after several exhales. Round the abdomen measurement down to the nearest half inch and record. For example, round 34.75 inches to 34.5 inches. To calculate male scores, subtract the neck measurement from the abdomen measurement to determine the circumference value. Then refer to the body fat estimation chart for final results. BCA circumference measurements for women are taken at the neck, natural waist, and hips. Neck measurements are taken on bare skin at the point just below the larynx and perpendicular to the long axis of the neck. Members look straight ahead during the measurement, with shoulders down and relaxed, not hunched. Natural waist measurements are to be taken on bare skin at point of minimum abdomen circumference, usually located about halfway between the navel and the lower end of the sternum or breastbone. When this site is not easily observed, take several measurements of probable sites and use smallest value. Ensure the tape is level and parallel to the deck and make sure the member's arms are at their side. Take measurements at the end of the member's normal relaxed exhalation. Round natural waist measurements down and record to the nearest half inch. For example, round 28.5 inches to 28.5 inches. Hip measurements are taken over the Navy PTU shorts. Control top pantyhose, spandex tights, and other shaping garments are not allowed to be worn during the measurements. Tight-fitting rubberized foundation garments or exercise belts are also prohibited at least 30 minutes prior to measurement. Measure hip circumference while facing member's right side by placing the tape around the hips so it passes over the greatest protrusion of the gluteus muscles. Make sure the tape is level and parallel to the deck. Supply sufficient tension on the tape to minimize the effect of clothing. Round hip measurement down to the nearest half inch and record. For example, round 44.3 inches to 44 inches. Add waist and hip circumference, then subtract neck circumference to obtain member's circumference value. Use the percent body fat estimation for women in Table 3 to locate the column which matches the member's height. Round up to the nearest half inch, and with the row which matches the members, cumulative circumference value, round down to the nearest half inch. Follow applicable column down and row across until they intersect. This number represents the member's estimated percent body fat. Note that this is only an estimate. The official BCA determination is made by PRIMS after entry. The maximum allowed Navy fat limits are 26% for all males and 36% for all females regardless of the member's age.